it's time now for our rants and raves of the week, and I'm starting with Kelly.
All right, so this is a story in alldigitocracy.org about a young woman reporter at the Boston Globe standalone called Stat. It's new, it's coming together. She's a young woman of color, and she was summarily dismissed, and no one can understand why. The piece is quite detailed. I urge people to look at it. She came with all kinds of credentials. Justin would recognize some of this. I don't, C++, Fortran, HTML, CSS, all this stuff that I'm guaranteeing you her bosses can't do. Let me start there. And she had done any number of stellar research internships at stellar organizations and was highly thought of. Appeared to work at the job and was then assigned to do clerical duties instead of the research and reporting that she thought she would be doing. Rick Burke, who is the head of this individual thing, vertical, says, well, everybody's assigned to it because it's a startup. From what I can gather here, only she was. So we don't know all the details of it, but let me just say two things. Nobody knows this is not the Boston Globe. Everybody thinks it's the Boston Globe. Boston Globe can protest all day. Not us, it's a standalone, it's Stat, it's new, it's whatever. I don't care. This speaks to what your reputation, it seems to me, and what are you talking about on diversity? And once again, these online startups are having a struggle around diversity and inclusion, and this is ridiculous.
They never comment on personnel things.
Yeah,
so
I understand they don't, but I'm just saying it's a reflection of them, whether or not it's a standalone or not. You know.
All right, John.
Well, we've talked often on this program over the years about war reporting and how crucial it is, how difficult it is, how under siege it is. I want to put out a rave for, I'm sorry if I'm messing up the name, Rukmini Callimachi of the New York Times, who wrote a piece the other day on how ISIS uses rape and sex slavery of girls and women from the Yazidi minority in Syria and Iraq. And they use it as a recruiting tool and as whatever else, and they justify it on religious grounds.
Religious grounds.
This is a revolting story that gives you an important insight into the demented theology and brutality of one of civilization's worst enemies, A++ reporting.
Excellent
I saw that.
job.
I think it was the Sunday Times, wasn't it?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
it's a chilling,
It's online,
excellent job.
it's appalling, but it's a must-read.
Yeah, it's revolting. Yeah, it really is. All right, let's see. We got Dan. I think we've got like a crisscross.
Justin and I are going at
duking it out
here.
on the next one.
Okay, I have a rant, and I'm really not even sure who to give the rant to, but maybe I will give it to the American people for refusing to support the kind of public broadcasting system that would allow Sesame Street to continue making its home at PBS. Because PBS does not have the money to allow Sesame Street to produce nearly as many new programs as it would like. Sesame Street, in turn, has gone to HBO, a premium paid service, as we all know, in order to do its new programming. Now they're going to go up from 18 new shows a year to 35 because of this extra money. PBS will be able to show the new Sesame Street shows 9 months later. This isn't the apocalypse. This isn't the worst thing that ever happened. But I just think it's too bad when a public institution like Sesame Street ends up having to run into the arms of a paid TV service in order to keep going.
All right, Justin, you want to take that on?
Dan, you ignorant muppet. Listen, you're absolutely right that the American public should be shamed for not supporting the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and Sesame Street. But the fact of the matter is, that's the way it's been moving in all media. We shouldn't be surprised that people are moving away from broadcast television to other outlets. It is absolutely sad that people that can't afford premium cable, that can't afford access to premium internet, won't be able to see new episodes of Sesame Street. But the fact of the matter is, they'll be able to see new episodes of Sesame Street 9 months later. They're also going to be getting more episodes of Sesame Street. And also, let's not forget that Sesame Street has one of the deepest catalogs of programming that any property has that we've ever seen. So I, for number one, would like to give a rave to HBO, not just because I enjoy Game of Thrones, but because, number one, they recognize that it is important to invest in children's programming, that it's important to know that people learn their ABCs and their 1, 2, 3s. And the bottom line is that sunny days and keeping the clouds away costs money. And if HBO wants to foot the bill, then we should let them.
All right.
And we'll have to work out the broader issues about who has access to what at a different time.
We will have a little, we can duke it out on the website. Anybody who wants to comment, they can go to beatthepress.org. I have a rave tonight, and this is the most important story of the week, as you all know. And believe it or not, I do have a rave for New York artist, sketch artist, Jane Rosenberg, who famously sketched, listen, hear me out, sketched this this picture of Tom Brady in a lower Manhattan court earlier this week. Now, she was roundly criticized, vicious comments on email, everywhere, Facebook. Jane Rosenberg faced the music. She came out, spoke to Jim Armstrong, who he got to know her at the Tsarnaev trial, and she did a great piece last night looking into the camera on Scott Pelley, CBS Evening News, Scott Pelley. Here's a little clip of that.
I'm not perfect, and I think athletes understand you have good days and bad days, and people just do the best they can. You're very handsome. I'm sorry if my sketch didn't make you look as good as you look. I'll try my best next time.
That was actually a cute piece. She had some really good artwork there of Bernie Madoff and a whole bunch of other pieces. She's been doing this for 35 years. I give her credit for coming forward. Also, as we were noting, she caught something that day. He didn't look as handsome as he is, but he was scowling. He was staring at his cell phone the whole time. He was clearly upset about it. She caught something, that she looked through him and caught a little something.
Artists are supposed to present what they see, right? That's what she did.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Well,
the problem
it's a courtroom sketch. It's supposed to look like him. That's what the problem is.
It looked like
I'm
Looks
giving
like
her
him if
credit.
you would run him
I
through
don't
a
think
car
any of us
wash.
are going to forget that Tom Brady's handsome. That's
Giving
just
her
not
credit
gonna
for
happen.
facing the music. All right, that is it for our show. Tell us what you think. Email us, tweet us, or leave a comment. We're always on at beatthepress.org.